This definitely isn't easy to make at all. My day's been completely turned on its head. You know, there's pretty much something that's planned out, there's something that's gone wrong. I finished with a huge project of mine for my other channel, and it turned out good to me anyway, and that's rare. The last thing I made turned out alright, but it wasn't anything to sort of enjoy. But this new one's just completely crushed my hopes. And it happened in a strange way as well. This only happened like an hour ago. And it's like so jarring that I've been on the brink of tears and just complete hopelessness. And I feel like I'm gonna pass out at any moment. Yeah, I have a genuine question and just a reality check. Because I don't really see people commenting or even liking what I've made in terms of music and artwork, and it makes me wonder whether I'm wasting my time. I've shown it to various people in real life and also online, and the common consensus is that people seem to like it and have very valid criticisms of it usually if there is. I've had people on artwork say there's different ways to sort of make it pop out. And I did stop sort of following some advice because it just became too much work, especially with what I have, which I can't even get diagnosed. And with artwork, thinking of specifically, the criticisms I got were more like preference and just like adding weight to outlines and just practicing, which is terrible advice. I've known that, and I take every opportunity I can to actually just make what I want and do it as good as I can, and that's served me well. I think people tend not to complain about it, and the fact that it's not really complained about shows at least I thought I was doing something right. Just about the cracking. This desk is weird. It's a struggle as well. Like artwork can actually be painful to do physically because it's so wrong with my hand and nobody will diagnose it. Nobody will even tell me what it could be, so I don't even know where to start. And given that I've dropped things, as far as I know, I have carpal tunnel syndrome or something. I don't know what it can be, but nobody's telling me, so it's not my problem. And in the end, that's one of the things that sort of helps me come back, in a sense. It makes me stop caring. It's just the fact that nobody's actually attempting to help me legitimately and trying to sort of get to the bottom of the problem. You know, I've made artwork since I was a child. I was doing drawings, I was doing paintings, and they weren't good paintings back then. In fact, I've seen better in like a local art gallery that sells way too overpriced fucking children drawings. But it's like somebody's not telling me the truth here, and I think it's those people responsible for pretty much most of my problems with this. I've been to the doctors multiple times to figure out what's wrong with my hands, and it also relates to how I play instruments as well. I've also asked what's wrong with my head, and again, no answer. And it gets confusing in the end because there's no answer to why. I just suck at things. And artwork is something that I've generally not been good at over the years. It's never improved past a certain point. And no matter how much I try to use references and even look at how other people do it, like tutorials and stuff, it never turns out the same. And there has to be a reason for that, but people again are not telling me. So I have no idea what to do from here. Make a thumbnail for this. It's just audio. Yeah, that's like artwork though. And no matter how many tools I have, I've like hundreds, like 200, 300 now. Nuts. It just doesn't seem to matter in the end. And even then, like, I feel almost guilty for having different brushes and stuff because those belong to other people and like, yeah, they're selling them, they're making them free and stuff. And I want to source all of that and show people where I got them from. But I don't know how to do that because most of them are pretty much gone, and then those that are just sold are sometimes a bit scummy because they play into the practices of like clip studios for some reason. Weird fucking monetization. Let's believe it or not, you can have a currency that expires. It's just nuts. And the other thing is music, and this one's the real kicker for me, really. So I got finished making a project of mine. I've only played music for 11 years. Played guitar for that time too, and bass for I think about 7 or 8 years, maybe a bit more actually. Started in 2017, I think. It's been quite a journey because I've learnt songs through both ear and just transcribing music and learning on Rocksmith and stuff. But I never started making music until 2020, roughly. I started with covers at first, and I was sort of happy with them at that time. And most of them sounded decent, even though they were like MIDI. Then I upgraded to a digital audio workstation and sort of changed everything. And then I got a bit of VSTs and stuff, and it started sounding even better. And it's to the point where, like, pretty much had no complaints about it until I realised later on I did have more complaints. And yeah, it just sort of improved as it went along, which is the contrary to artwork. You know, artwork is very much a skill related thing, but music can be pretty much knowledge and sometimes luck actually. I just don't have a skill set for anything really. That's become very apparent. It doesn't seem to matter what I say my disabilities are, mental health issues are, like nobody seems to care. And I thought that would be a clue to what's wrong with me exactly. And I started playing guitar for music in 2020, technically speaking, maybe 2021 actually. I was making my own sort of songs and I made guitar tracks for it. And it didn't record properly at first, and I was kind of scared to do it. I was nervous as well. Didn't make anything good, and it ended up sucking, so I stopped doing it. Which is why I went on to VSTs instead, because it was just more accurate. You know, I couldn't get the timings down, I couldn't play properly, I couldn't get the tones right either. You know, people recommending Guitar Rig 5, which is a pile of crap with the Rocksmith cable anyway. It just didn't work for me, so I looked elsewhere. I went with Shreddage, and then later heavier 7 strings, which I ended up using a tone for more so than the other things, but I used Shreddage still. It's like a rhythm guitar. And then I changed everything to Shreddage because I realised the bends sounded much better. So did some of the effects actually. And now I've upgraded to the 1111 amps for everything but the clean guitars. And that's good. And I was planning on using VSTs for when I started my original music with BAH. first. I did experiment, and I actually have some files of the old versions of that. I doubt people are interested, but I had an older version. It sounded okay, but it wasn't good enough really. But come to like a few months ago, I started the next one. Started one that would be for vegan activism, called Where Morality Dies. And it was one of my most ambitious projects, I think. Because I was not only doing this just by ear, I don't have any music theory knowledge really. As much as I've tried to understand it and have a fucking poster in front of me with all the scales I need, I still can't memorise it. It's too hard. Again, that's something doctors need to explain, so it's not my fault. I keep losing memories as well, as I've noticed over the years. Yeah, so I do everything by ear, and it does sound out of key sometimes, but I think the opening riff, the clean stuff, wasn't great. I just left it in there as like a sort of start. One of those things where it's like a throwaway intro and it sort of used something anyway. And it did. It led to what is probably one of my favourite rhythm sections with this sort of key changing chord shape, which is only playable on a 7 string and with the two top bottom strings down tuned. So drop A and drop D, and it's creative. And there's also like a sort of octave switch. I don't know. The chord shapes are weird. I'll just say that it's like one of your fingers, 1, 3, and then 4 underneath the third. So it's like a parachord shape. But if you like on 2 of the chords, it's actually with the pinky finger on the fret, like next to it. So it's like you got the B and the E string playing a normal chord, but the A string is playing something else. I thought that was really creative. And then you've just got the random bar shape, or standard, I mean, not random. It's like a jazz chord almost, and that's how it sounds, so sort of black metal-y, which was my intention with it. And going on to like the verse and stuff, I didn't know what to do, so I referenced OFF to an extent. Did harmonies and did like an epic rhythm melody, and it didn't turn out great, but it's something. Bridge turned out awful, but I didn't know how to really repair it at that point. It seemed really hard to make one. I don't know why. It's very bizarre. Then the chorus turned out okay. Just a usual sort of thing. I did a few palmates and then into a big chord. Actually, I think I played each thing. It wasn't just a 1-strike chord, I think there's multiple. I could be mistaken. Anyway, that leads into the verse again, and then goes into the other verse as well. After that, and then a unique jazz breakdown. With like interruptions of metal chords and stuff, which I thought was creative. I listened to Nucleus about a few months ago before I started watching One Piece, and they were probably my primary inspiration for part of that. And I had the gist of like what jazz was like because I listened to it every night, just like random videos with like 12 hours long. And then go into the solo, and that's probably my favourite part of the song. It's unique. I experimented with like the clean chorus and the chords, with like the key changing, and it just works so well. And it's probably one of my favourite solos actually. Yeah, I struggle with writing solos, and I even have to like improv every time that I play over the same thing multiple times and hope something lands, and that's how I manage it. Again, like no music theory, just using what I've learned and trying to make something. I made it. it surprised me when it came out the way it did. And it's a pretty unique solo as well because it fits the theme like the rest of the song. It's like dark and sort of mysterious. But the clean chorus really makes it, I think. One of my favourite bits there. Because they use like the same shape for two of the chords. Even though it's not supposed to work, but it does somehow. So I kept that in. I did experiment with a different shape, but this way it turned out better. So yeah, I'm really proud of that. It very much sounds like Periphery. Except for the solo, I think. But yeah, that's pretty much the song though. And the lyrics are related to animal rights and animal agriculture. Just how shitty they are. But yeah, that's all went on a tangent there. But I struggled with finding a video image idea for this, and it's unreleased as of now. And that's because I can't figure out what to put on it exactly. It's addressing so many of the different problems and arguments that you see around animal agriculture, and I can't figure out something that would really fit it. Like, if you were to watch it, do I show footage of animal agriculture, or do I show like a drawing that's creative in a sense, even though I can't draw? Or I could even commission someone for artwork, I don't know. There's something out there. And I'm looking for suggestions, but at this point, with how people have sort of perceived the sort of song, I'm not 100% sure I'm gonna release it in the end. Yeah, this absolutely terrified me because it's basically shattered dream at this point. It's probably a troll as well, like, it's something you can't, like, deny. So it very much could be true. But, the first comment on it essentially was, I listened primarily to metal, and I really did not like that, especially the vocals. I was using Havoc for the vocals, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do because I asked for advice on how to write them. Nobody gave me any. Just said to upgrade to Havoc, so I did. And here we are. Whose fault is that? So that's one thing, but I think the vocals sounded fine. It's not the worst vocals I've ever made, and I've actually made an effort to make them better, because before I'd just leave it as is. But I've actually tried to experiment and repair these as much as I can, and it's turned out to be the best yet. And did plan on using them moving forward. Really the thing that sucks here is that nobody's giving feedback. Oh wait, it was the second comment, not the first. My bad. Yeah, like, I've asked feedback on this sort of thing before and nobody gives any. And even though I'm just looking for a video idea, this just crushes everything that I was just worked towards. And what's the point? And given low viewership and stuff, I don't really know if I want to continue. I do try my best with this, try to make it sound as good as possible. And that's still not enough. My effort doesn't pay off. It's pretty much a lie at this point. And practice doesn't pay off, for that matter. I've always sort of known that, but this just really drills it in. Yeah. I just need to know what people think of my music, either here or on the other channel. It's important to know. Yeah, so just a child dream now.